Tēnā kōrua, Michael
Tēnā koe.
and Jennifer. So lovely to have you in my little studio, because you are essentially on the road right now. You are mid-production of the amazing play In Other Words, where, for those who don't know about it, where do you live? What planet are you from?
Yes.
You play a married couple.
Yes.
And you are a married couple, and you've been married for 37 years.
Yes, but really together for 42 years.
That was the other number I've got written down. You moved into your first flat.
The answer to everything, isn't it? 42.
Yeah, 42. It absolutely is. Moved in together in 1983.
Correct.
That's correct.
And Michael, you were 25-ish.
Yeah.
You were 20.
And I was a slip of a girl.
A slip of a girl, mere will of a wisp. You were legal age, though.
Yes.
And I guess yours is a great love story through longevity, if nothing else. But you also have children and this incredible career. Mm-hmm. How did you two meet? Is there a snippet of your love story that you feel like sharing that you've never told before?
We probably have told it, because when you get this many decades and people ask those questions. Of course they do. But we properly sort of got together in a play called The Trial. So I suppose you could say it was a showmance.
Yeah.
Even though I sort of steer young actors off those things.
Kafka's The Trial. It was quite a heavy play, but we had a moment and...
Yes, and we sort of ignored it for a while and then thought we better talk.
Yeah, I was already in a relationship. And
so was I.
And there really wasn't anything wrong.
With either relationship?
Yeah, and so it was going to be something for either of us to do anything about.
Which is quite a lot when you look back at how old we were, because I look at
you,
my children, 25 and 28.
Yeah.
But I
remember though, because for me it was, I just thought the way to do this would be, if you're going to break up a relationship, and I had another one earlier, a longish term, maybe 2 years or something, and we just clean break, but of course,
life's not like
this
that,
was a bolt out of the blue, and I knew it was going to be a bolt out of the blue to this other woman. And of course that's not how it works. Like, she needed
Life's
to
not that clean.
know what, why, how. There needed to be a lot of work done. I had no idea as a young 25-year-old. I had no idea. I'd never done therapy or anything or counselling. So that happened. That's my point. I got to that. So yeah, I mean, it was the first time for everything, I suppose.
And I suppose at 20, I felt really independent.
You were,
because I'd left home at 17.
You've always been mature, though.
Yeah, maybe.
Darling, you've always mature.
Mature beyond your years.
Yeah. Well,
look at your posture.
I mean,
you are an independently minded young woman, aren't you?
Yeah. And I guess, and we were working so hard at the theatre, doing play after play after play after play after play. It was a wonderful time, a time that young actors don't get now because there are no companies anymore.
Yeah,
and we had year-long contracts at these theatres, so we kind of grew up in the theatre, didn't we, Michael?
Sure did. Yeah. And it was a daily thing and a disciplined thing. And do you remember we got crazy for bodybuilding at one point? Remember that?
Yeah,
weight belts and...
That's right. I was never going to be a bodybuilder.
No, you were way too tall and willowy. I, on the other hand...
You were quite nuggety, weren't you, Michael? You had muscles on your muscles. That's right. I did see a cheeky photo.
And we were talking about our cars that we used to have. And a big Zephyr and a Ford, big
Zephyr.
cars.
I mean, really big cars. And,
I remember feeling terribly mature when we got our first Toyota, because it actually would go.
That's true.
That was a sign of maturity, that the car wasn't, you didn't just sort of pray that it was going to go.
I can remember lots of satisfaction at being able to reverse park those big cars. Yes. And watching, you could feel people watching.
Yeah.
But I was really used to them.
Cameras.
Grew up on those cars.
And some of those cars only had a rear view, like a wing mirror on one side, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. It's proper driving.
Yes, that's right.
Stick shift, mate. So you guys you're working together, you're honing your craft together, you are doing life in this very creatively, vibrantly together way. Was that a wonderful basis for your marriage? Did it stand you in good stead? You've survived, right?
Yes, I think so. We certainly have, in our work, we have a similar approach. We're quite robust performers because we've
Yeah.
done it for so long, and we've just had all of those years of, I don't know, discipline and exercise, applying your craft, really.
Yeah.
But the other thing is we've had two quite separate careers. So we're not, although we've done about 30 plays together.
Been in plays together.
30 out of how many? The context, like if
Well,
you've done
over 150.
150.
Yeah, exactly.
So many
so
plays.
yes,
So that's
kind of
context.
ridiculous.
Yeah, but they were
Yeah.
all before the children were born.
Right.
And then we did sort of one together after they were born, and that was quite a juggle, as you can imagine, because we'd made the decision not to, only one of us would work at night, so that somebody was always home for the children.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've had these two separate careers. There are skills that Michael has that I don't have, and there are skills that I have that he doesn't have. So we've pursued quite individual careers, and consequently there's been no competition, which I have seen happen, or people resenting someone else's success.
No,
I don't think we've ever had that.
With us, it's been, I mean, there's a lot of highs in that situation because you get to see each other do things, which is pretty cool, you know. I've seen Jennifer do things that are amazing. And also, I think it'd be fair to say, you know, if I say to Jennifer, was that all right? You know, and it wasn't. She says, no, it's not. Then I know it's not. You know what I mean? No one else is going to tell me, Michael,
Yeah.
I think we're quite
what you're doing is terrible.
We're each other's best critics, I think.
Yeah. But as the criticism...
It's all around the craft.
It exists within this relationship of trust and love and care.
Absolutely.
Yes, and it's all about the
it's
craft. Like each of us wants to do a good job.
Yeah.
And so if there's something that can make that better, and we trust the
And also,
opinion of the other person.
if you can't tell and you want to know guidance, that's the first person you go to.
Yeah, who do you ask?
Well,
Somebody
I
who
asked
knows
Jennifer,
the craft.
yeah.
Exactly. Someone who knows the craft and has your back 100%. How does it go if she says everything's good? Do you believe her?
If she says that to me,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, in fact, when Jennifer said, well, the other night in the show, remember the second, might have been whichever run it was, and I felt funny. Do you remember? I felt funny.
Yeah.
And afterwards, first thing Jennifer said was, wow, you were great. You were great. That was so free. And I had felt out of step. All the performance, actually, for some reason. Remember I said that?
Yes.
But I felt so relieved and gratified because that means it's true. What Jennifer said is true over my subjective experience.
Because it made me better when he was better, you know.
Of course. It's like,
And with this, because this is our first two-hander.
yes. So it's just the two of you on stage.
We
Just the two of
rarely
us.
work opposite each, except for the goat, I think.
a little bit in King Lear.
A little bit in King Lear, but it's quite rare
But the
for us
goat was
to.
a big-
We might be in the plays together, we might not be working opposite each other,
Yeah.
but this one is, and it's a real treat to go touring with your partner. Actually,
Tell me about that.
Well,
Tell me
because
about
you're
the treat of touring
you're quite
together.
lonely, I think, when you're on. Well, not lonely. You're with your little group of people who you're touring,
Or
with.
on your own, which I've done a lot of.
Yeah,
You know.
we've both toured a lot, and but this one you can actually come home and there's somebody there, even if we're just reading.
Yeah, I like it. And the quite absurd thing is the script, we've made it. It's quite domestic and we've made it our own anyway. So sometimes the line is blurred between when, you know, the dialogue of at home, it slips easily into each other. We have each other on all the time about it, don't we?
Sometimes I just slip a line out of the play and he doesn't realise
Like,
it's
are
not
you
real.
joking? Like the keys, what keys? And I did lose the keys.
He did
by
lose the
way.
keys.
Oh my
Like in the
God.
play, he loses the keys.
So fantastic.
Yeah, it's one of those moments.
Art
So
imitates
annoying.
life and life.
Right, imitates art. Yes, that was a moment. But anyway,
Yeah.
no, it's great. I think I enjoy the discipline of, well, it's time to go and do the show now.
Yeah.
Because you spend your day really focusing on that, whatever it is, an hour or 90 minutes. It's that.
Build up.
Everything leads up to it.
Everything
That's
leads up to
right.
that. It's like your race. You know, you're a thoroughbred, and that's where you do it. Yeah. So when you're doing a show, it's always like that. And the other one in our relationship, when one of us is doing that and the other one isn't, the one respects the other. Would that be fair?
Yes,
comment?
I think we
Quite
get it.
good
If
at
someone
that.
is in production week, especially when the children were little, if one of us was in
Mm.
production week, you pretty well know that parent is not going
Not
to be
available.
there.
Yeah.
It's not available, and
Not
you can't
mentally, not emotionally, not physically.
Right.
and you can't expect them to be.
Yes.
No.
And you just have to pick up the slack for that time. I think the tricky times probably for us was if you were away and maybe I was performing at night or
Yeah,
maybe, and I was having to get up. That was the cruel parts where you're working at nights and you're getting up early in the morning to get the children up and off to school. I do remember waking up once going, I'm so tired. Maybe I'd been up 3 times in the night with a sick child or a dreaming child or something. And I remember thinking, how can I possibly do the show tonight? And, of course, you get there and Dr. Theatre takes care of it all, and you go through your discipline of your warm-up, your physical warm-up, your vocal warm-up, getting your makeup on, and you're ready.
Can we talk about Dr. Theatre? Because I've heard it mentioned before. What is it about theatre that makes you feel well? Or is it that theatre takes you out of yourself? What is the part of theatre that is Dr. Theatre?
Dr. Theatre, I think, comes into play when, well, I can give you some examples. On an opening night when I was working with Harry Sinclair and Don McGlashan in the front lawn, so 1989, and opening night in Wellington, packed audience, and we used to come out into the audience, and I stepped down the steps and I rolled my ankle, like within the first 2 minutes, like badly. And I remember going, whoa, that's bad. You've really hurt your ankle. And then I went, oh, well, got a show to do. And I danced around, I did the thing, and it wasn't till I got off, I went, youch, that's sore. And then next day it was sort of black, you know. But I think it's adrenaline helps you. Too much adrenaline is not actually, if you don't get rid of it every night, it's not a healthy thing for any actor. But it pumps you up. You don't feel pain as much.
I think that's one aspect of it. I think that's true. And I've done that. I've gone on with torn ligaments and all the rest of it.
Sound like All Blacks, the pair of you.
Yeah, it is a bit like that. But the other thing is Dr. Theatre gives you your fix as well. And that's actually quite a big thing for me because, having no other reason to be, I mean, lots of reasons to exist and everything. But in my life, it's a vocation, right? So it's that channel. It's quite I can speak for both of us on this. It's a channel of communication that not everybody can do. So hello, this to me is, and you can be tired, you can be not quite on to it, you can be a bit bilious, you can be any of these things. You walk on and there it is, and Dr. Theatre is giving you the thing that actually can sort of sustain you and fix you as well as, and if there's nothing wrong with you, it can give you such a big hit, can't it?
Yes, and there's also, I think, that responsibility to the audience.
Well, that's what
I want to give them
about,
my best job.
So one of the things about this show is that people, there are tears in the show. It's pierced with tears.
I read it on the plane.
Yeah,
Bawled
Raymond
my
was saying
eyes
that.
out.
I know.
I've got the tissues here.
But
I am ready.
But it's not.
I like crying. Crying is a
It's
really
very good-
fabulous emotion.
efficacious, it is.
And it's not the only emotion in the
No,
play.
and there's so much joy and tears through joy. That's why I say it pierces your heart with all that stuff. But the thing is that if someone says in the audience has said to me, I cried and, I felt a bit. And the good thing is, so did everybody else.
Yeah.
And isn't that what we're really talking about? So,
because there's empathy writ large in the audience.
And so when you start going back to Dr. Theatre and you think happy, sad face of theatre is really just one face that does all of it, then you're thinking, well, this is where human beings... blah, blah, blah. It becomes really special, to me, it becomes very powerful. And suddenly we're doing what we really are here to do, which is change people in the moment.
As Shakespeare says, hold a mirror up to nature. And of course, in our society, and as you know, the kaupapa of this play is dementia, mate ware ware. And
say the word for it again.
Mate
ware
ware, which means forgetting, the sickness of forgetting, the illness of forgetting. And the other night in Christchurch, I asked the audience how many of you have had some connection with dementia in some way, and over half of the audience put their hand up. And that's what
three quarters, 70 easily, yeah. There was
a lot,
forest of hands.
So that's what's made this play and touring this play particularly special. As we get to talk to those people, we hear their stories, and especially when we do forums, and and hear people's connection. I have women sometimes waiting and just saying, I'm you, my character. I'm
My
your
life
character.
is Jane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Look, because this play is essentially the two of you, Arthur and Jane, and it tracks your love story and your marriage through the decades. And from what I read, it's like you go through the stages of decline with Arthur.
So I'm the one that
Has
gets the
dementia.
dementia. When I read it, like you, I first read it and I cried because I couldn't help but imagine the reality of what Jennifer would have to do should it be me. You know how when you do that for your kids, when your kids are babies, when we had our kids, I suddenly got actually quite fearful of flying, never worried about it beforehand. Not because I'm afraid of dying, but the consequences for my little kids, they'd miss me. You know, you put it on them because that's a deep protective feeling, I don't know, but that's what got me. And then I also thought I think quite smartly.
Tell us.
We could probably kill this. This would be really good in this. I thought because, you know,
we could kill this.
I recognise this dialogue.
We could break a couple of legs on this play.
So and obviously Callum, our producer, Callum Brody, he obviously that's why he gave it to me. Gave it to Jennifer. Did you audition together or separately? Like, how did you? Oh, yeah, we auditioned for the other part. She wasn't going to do the part originally. We had to see a lot of other women. Joking.
No, we didn't audition anybody. No.
But she ended up.
No,
he sent
you the play because you'd worked with him.
Yes.
And then you sent it on to me.
And you'd actually read it a while ago, but it hadn't been
maybe 6-7 years earlier. I'd read it. But because it was written for young people, I didn't even think of it, not remotely.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I think we're the first couple sort of over 35 who've ever played it.
Genius.
Yeah.
So in the stage play where it says, and the couple age before your eyes, do you change it to, and the couple
we don't do any of that.
Unage before your eyes?
No, we just play with a younger energy when we play them
just
young.
Energy. I mean, we're actors.
Just an energy.
Actors play their entire lives. That's one of the things that actors, they're called players. You know?
And yes, so it's an entirely different play with us in our 60s than it would be for people in their 30s.
Yeah.
It's all the same content, but how it's performed.
I think that because the meta couple, because in the play, it's a great device, used many times, different plays, but this, where we step out as the couple and go and comment on
beyond
the stuff.
Time.
Beyond
like you're ageless.
In the meta space, And you're sort of, and so, you know, Jennifer Sage I don't like this bit. And I go, no, me neither. But because of that, the couple that they're seeing is us, a couple of, 40 odd years and our age. And I think that actually, that's a plus for us, I think. That's an advantage in our case, because no one has to imagine the couples, if this had never happened. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit of a heartstring twang there. It's sort of beautiful.
And I think there's just when you know someone so well, there's an ease of physicality around that person, and I think people pick up on that. Yeah, and then that's what feels very authentic for people. So they see a couple going through this experience.
A universal couple, a representation, I guess, of what this disease does to
and it's very cruel. Yeah. It's a very long goodbye.
Yeah. So how did you prepare for that in terms of the Alzheimer's dementia aspect of this particular play? Did you do readings, or what did you draw on?
You talk first, because Michael's the one who has to go through that.
I was very keen to make well, firstly, in the script, it's very clear playing what's in front of you, and that's one thing that I think as an actor I like to do anyway. You don't think of the end result. Okay. You think this, you try and be in the moment.
Be in the moment,
yeah. And so all of these things that he's very clearly written, paranoia, fear, nervousness, certainly forgetfulness. And then I talked to these two, they were doctors, I think, but they work with dementia, and they were very encouraging about that. They taught me through all of the ways that people are convinced. I didn't go out into any dementia facilities and observe. I didn't think that was kind of appropriate, because it needed to come from within as well. And that's basically what I did, and I did the script for them in front. I said, look, this is the way I think this goes. What does this look like to you? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? That was, they're kind of coaching me a little bit, but just in terms of, blankness and enthusiasm and
sort of simplicity.
Because, of course, in the read-through, when we read it out loud for the first time, I could hardly get through the end of it. I was crying, and Rosie had to give me a box of tissues. Ridiculous, which is the opposite of what my character has to do. I can't play that. You, the audience, have to have that. That's for you to, not for me. I'm to play what makes you have that.
Or funnel their, my character's going to funnel their feelings because I'm the one dealing with it.
Yes. So I'm just going, like, for example, do you come here very often? She's got a name tag, and I go, Jane. I don't know who she is. So you play it
quite often.
Oh, you can't have been here that many times.
Why do you say that?
Well, because I'd really remember you. I always remember the pretty ones. It's so good, isn't it?
Good. And that's this sort of terribly bittersweet thing for Jane, of course, because he doesn't know who she is, but she's there.
But he also imagines someone else. Did you see her? She looked upset. And it's her, but it's... I think we should go out and see if she's here. Really just can. And then, of course, there's the anger and the vibe. But that comes from just fear and frustration of, I don't know what's happening to me. I just don't know what's
confusing.
And it doesn't take much to start exciting that in your body. But then one doesn't want to be sort of dramatic either.
Yeah. So some people might have one of the aspects that Michael plays, and some have all of them. So there are different types of dementia, of course. There are some people who are right and full on into the, what did a woman say to me the other day? She said that her husband had said, yes, you're such a bitch. And I'd had it by then. She said, you call me a bitch once more and I'm not coming back to look after you. And the next time again, you're such a brat. So, and I thought, like part of his brain knew that this person was important. There's a line. This woman was important to him, to his well-being, And I just thought how wonderful to have that shared with me. And in terms of my prep, honestly, I find talking to people the best thing. But also I looked at a lot of videos as to what actually happens in the brain with Alzheimer's.
What did you discover?
Well, all of the plaque that sits at the ends of the sort of nerves in the brain. I mean, it's a very unattractive thing when you look at it, but it makes you see actually what's happening to the brain, all of that sort of sticks on the end. So, of course, you're getting no connections at times because there's a plaque that's built up. And, of course, we have to remember that this is a disease. It's not a natural part of aging. And it's just going to explode over the world because we're an aging population. They're saying by 2050 it could be double here. I think the last statistics 6 years ago, which Dementia New Zealand I think are pretty out of date, were about 70,000 New Zealanders have them. But, it could well be way more than that.
Yeah. Does make you
so think. We have to know that this is happening in our society, and people have of course we can see senior homes opening up all over the place. It seems to be the fastest growing business at the moment,
and encouraging people to keep reading, talking to people, socializing, all of that.
Yes,
keep
your brain fit and healthy.
Meeting strangers.
We learn plays.
It's kind of quite a good.
That keeps your brain very, very active.
Yeah.
Yes, keep going with that.
Yeah, keep going with that.
It is this push-pull, right, of I think about what do I do to not only keep myself in as good a state mentally, emotionally and physically as I can, not just to have the best time when I'm older, but also to think about the next generation, right, to think about the people who are coming after me who I'll be asking to care for me and support me and uffy me into that last season of life.
Yes.
And you kind of want, but this is confronting stuff. We don't want to talk about aging, and we don't want to talk about decline and disease and death. Our society can't stand it. I think the amazing thing about this play is how it wraps it in love. Like you really believe the love story of this couple. They really are. Their love story is real.
Yes.
Even in the loss of the love story, it exists.
Oh yeah, it's full of love.
And of course, it's all connected by music because they meet through music.
Yeah.
And then these Frank Sinatra just is woven all the way through. And whenever he's getting distressed or irascible or whatever, Jane's go-to is the music to bring him back to himself and consequently back to her. So you can have in all of the confusion and being unable to recognise that person, there is connection.
Yeah, and when I spoke to these people about that, this was this recognition of music was essentially relief at something to hang on to. And so for me to play that, of course, tense,
didn't know that.
I have to make myself, against all my actly feeling, I want to do an actly way of listening, just, oh my God, the relief. And commit to that no matter what, because that's actually the truth of it. And
it takes all the tension out of your
body,
body,
it does.
doesn't it?
And so how that manifests is just, to really let go, which I wouldn't necessarily do if I was, in some other situation, not having dementia, you know what I mean? Interesting.
I was doing chaplaincy study, and we talked to a palliative care chaplain. She was part of the this postgrad study group through Otago University, and she talked about sitting in corridors with people, and they were obviously very distressed and heightened, potentially, moaning and in psychological and physical pain, and potentially even kind of rocking in their desire to be okay or comforted. And she would sing sometimes old hymns to them, and they would start singing. They would just stop rocking, stop groaning, and they would sing.
That
and she said it was
thing.
profound, like just it's like a little pathway through the brain that still connects, right?
Yes.
And you are connected to your own.
It's exactly what the show does, isn't it? It's exactly what it says, yeah. It's exactly where it goes. Beautiful.
Have you got personal experience? Do you have relatives with dementia or Alzheimer's? Have you had?
I mean, I've looked after a couple of people who've been, my dad really had slightly dementia-like symptoms because of a whole lot of mini strokes. But then also our kind of great teacher, mentor.
Oh, yes, Raymond.
The reason kind of we're in this business, really. He is in his late 80s now and has got quite advanced dementia. And it's very sad to see a bright light be dimmed.
Yeah.
And he won't. I'm very thankful that quite a few years ago I interviewed him on screen because I wanted to capture his life in the beginning of Theatre Corporate, where we studied and played. And so we've got that, and I feel that was the perfect timing, because any later it just would have gone.
So this is true, right? My father is living with us and he has Parkinson's. So it's like you see the thoughts become smaller. They just don't activate, and they don't reach out in the way that they did. And so you get glimpses of the person you know.
This is the way the world ends, not with a bang, but a whimper. That's what,
I think your world just does get smaller and smaller.
What it means, I think.
And we just have to.
Yeah, it's quite.
That's sort of what happened with Dad too. And I remember asking, I was saying, "Oh, Dad, what was it that made you get into the theatre? Was it before university or at university?" And he went, "What exactly are you asking?"
Oh, yeah.
And I went, "Okay, well, I'll just go a little bit, try and explain that a bit more." And then he went, well, it's a lot to put together. And that was it. And I went, "Jennifer,
it's lost, it's gone.
It's gone." But when he died, he'd kept all his archives, all his reviews, all of the theatre. The first play we ever did together when I was 7. Oh. And I went, "Thank you, Dad." Well done, Dad. Well done.
Past Dad was looking after future you.
Yeah,
it's so
exactly.
lovely that you had that record. Yeah, I think we have to be kind of brave, don't we? Because I even think, I think about, as my father's Parkinson's was progressing, we all pretended for quite a while that nothing was wrong.
Yes.
And in the play, there's this sense, I've heard you talk about it, there's a sense of where there's an understanding in Arthur's character that he's stitched up a little here, that the Alzheimer's that he was hoping wouldn't happen to him is.
He starts off with, I just need a bit more TLC. I just need a bit more.
Yeah.
And
actually,
then,
that was one of the things the dementia experts said, that the family go, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good, thanks.
Yeah, good, thanks.
And it's not fine. And what does Jane say? You kick yourself when you realise all the things that were staring you right in the face.
Yeah, but you see...
But they're not, are they?
Yes,
because you don't think about that as being a possibility.
Yes, but then I say, I know she thinks she should have picked up on it, that it could have made some sort of difference. But that's ridiculous. How was she supposed to know when I didn't even have a clue? You know, so you just, these things are all in there, you know.
And it's the humanity of it, because you don't want it to be true. Not only do you not know it, and you've never had dementia before, and your husband or wife or, you know, has not had dementia before. This is the first time. But you don't want it to be true.
Yes.
So I think so often the most natural route, if not the most advantageous, is to ask, is to pretend. If we all pretend together, then perhaps this isn't really happening. And I wonder if quite a bit of acting goes on.
I think so. I certainly have heard of couples where the wife or the husband is covering up for what their partner is doing, and they're doing a brilliant job at it.
Yeah. Until they can't do that.
Until they can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what have you heard in terms of some of the feedback from the play? Have people offered you hopeful ideas, or have they just been so relieved to see themselves represented?
I think it's more that, and I think it's...
I think they see you a lot more.
Yeah, they really... My character is, because she's essentially the caregiver.
She's the carer.
And that is unseen work a lot of the time. And it's mostly mahi aroha. It's unpaid work. And until the point where you actually are physically unable to do that, and then you have to put your partner into a care facility. And actually a lovely person in the audience in Wellington got very tearful about that, saying that was the worst time of his life, is actually having to say goodbye, put her there, because he just couldn't do it anymore. But he felt that he was letting her down in some way, which is terribly sad. So I think it is that people see aspects. We hear the audience going, yep, oh yeah. Even at some really crunchy parts of the play, where it's sort of a bit shocking what Jane said she's thinking. And you get people going, yep.
Or, oh no.
Like that. And I love that. That means they're really connecting with it on an emotional level.
I get a good
Or they see themselves in me.
Yeah.
Or they see their loved one in Michael. And to be seen is a wonderful and powerful thing.
It really, really is. You were going to say more?
Oh, I got a good one on. The first time I went to the shops and forgot something, and I just go, usually it just takes quarter of an hour. So I go to the shops to buy the items, and you can feel as soon as I do it, the audience start going. It's a bit like this, like there's a little. You can almost like a ripple of laughter. It's quite funny, and the disconnects that they make sometimes, where within a space of 5 or 10 seconds, I forget that I'm.
Oh yes.
I forget so we're talking about the keys.
Yeah, like where are they? Where did you have them last? And he goes,
what? We've just spent this whole scene.
We just had an argument before about the keys.
And actually, that's quite a challenging little moment to just drop everything too. And my thought process.
And the audience is going, oh my God, he's actually completely.
Have what? Have the keys.
And I go like, what do you mean have what? Are you joking?
Are you joking? What?
The keys.
Oh right, the keys. Yeah, it's quite.
Because too, like, we don't want to live in fear, right? Like, I meet perimenopausal women who think, hey, they've got cancer or they've got dementia.
Yes.
They're like, I've lost my marbles.
Yes.
Well, you've got to be, there are things that, as I said, I always forget names. And Jennifer said, that's okay. You've always forgotten names. So, okay, good. That's fine. But I think
everybody has that thing where you're in the middle of a sentence and then you can't think of the word you're about to say. But it's very easy now that we're doing this play to go, oh my God, is that it?
Oh my God.
We're going to give you the brain scan,
Where are my
please.
keys? You know?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all right. I mean, I still remember all of Hamlet's soliloquies.
There we go.
Ting!
Okay.
Top of the class.
Yeah.
So this again is the wrestle, right? The wrestle of the theatre masks, the joy and the terror and being the same face, and the wrestle of the humanity of, you know, the love and the loss, you know. And here we are going, okay, now I'm aware of this and I'm like on guard, but at the same time I'm not going to live in fear. What do you think that playing this play will impact you as a couple or as humans?
Do you know, I think we're already in a time of great sort of change anyway, and that we're in our 60s and we've just moved out of it not quite a year ago, nearly a year ago, we sold our house of 27 years. Exciting. And we're in an apartment now with my stepmom, so we're into generational living, which is lovely. And seeing off dear friends and loved ones really focused me and going, I'm not going to do A, B, C, D and leave that for my children.
What are
that
those?
Might be things like, you know, carrying around an enormous amount of stuff.
I hear you.
That has been sitting, objects that have
Unsorted.
been sitting. You know, when you've got a big house,
yes,
everybody knows this. If you've got a house with a garage, with an attic on top and a basement, you fill it up.
My husband is like pulling his hair out. No more things in the attic.
Yes,
you do fill it up.
Yes, and so it was actually a great feeling of release to give stuff away. Just give it away, give it away, give it away. It's not like we've gone all minimal, don't get me wrong. We've got the lovely things that we like to have in our house that make it our house. But I don't want the burden of stuff to go onto my children. So
what else, apart from getting rid of stuff?
I'm sick of house maintenance.
Yes. Here.
In fact, that's my expression. We go, look at that lovely, the maintenance. That's become a bit of a family joke. And I can look at these gorgeous places and covet them and everything, but then I go, the maintenance. So I felt that because I'm still working very, very hard.
And happy about it.
And very happy about it.
Your choice, I'm taking it.
Yes. And I love my work and I don't want to spend any free time that I do have thinking about the bloody maintenance. So I feel like my life has just kind of just lifted up like a whole lot of sort of a side of stressful living is gone. And
that's good.
It's really great. So, you know, and our children have their own places that don't own their own houses, but they're renting quite close to us, so we see them.
Go on. One of the things I'm loving about the play is I'm really enjoying the reinforcement of my years of doing it. I'm loving and I'm seeing it in you and feeling it in myself, you know, where
when you can hold an audience
it's just like putting on a dressing gown or something, and it isn't, I'll be the first to admit, it's not a huge Shakespeare. It's not one of those, you know, I've run a marathon plays. Nevertheless, it is emotionally deep and it's got, it's very trenchant and all the rest of it. But the feeling of owning the skill and going, oh, actually, I know how to do that, and just I mean this in a humble way, really, is what I'm trying to say, because it actually feels
it's really affirming. You mean?
Yeah, affirming. It's very easy, and
there's a rightness to it.
Yeah, and it still is learning.
And a trust in what you can do, and a trust that you can deliver the story in the most poignant and potent way that you possibly can. And
we're still trying new things.
And we always, and that's right, and we play with new things, and I love that. You know, that something new comes up or something deepens. That's the joy of running a play for more than 17 shows.
I think as you get older, it's good to be reminded. That's what I'm getting. It's good to be reminded that that's actually a thing. That it's like, wow, this is great.
This is what we do. This is my wheelhouse.
And I'm certainly not finished with it. You know, there are some plays that you do in your life where you go, okay, that was a natural end for that. That season finished. But there are a few, and I think this is one that I'm not ready to finish it yet. I feel like I've still got more depths to plumb,
Well,
more things to try.
I was going to forget it. I was going to say we'll do the musical, but it was a bad joke. Forget it. There'll be no musical.
No. Yeah.
And so your sons, have they seen the play?
Yeah. They have.
What did they think?
I think they were very
impressed. They were. It's hard to know.
I don't know. I didn't.
Men a few words.
I think maybe Cameron probably sort of thought, oh, what would it be like if my dad was like that?
Cameron was a bit moved. He didn't even come to see King Lear because he couldn't bear the thought of watching me die on stage and all that stuff and the grief. But he was going through a bit of a time at the time. And so I was surprised he came and saw this one. But I think he enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And Jack and Maddie, they really enjoyed it. You know, they've seen so much of what we do, haven't they, over the years? We used to take them. When I think about the things I used to take them to when they were kids, I'm like,
cringe.
Because that's just theatre, you know.
No, it's not anything too disturbing.
No,
just take them to anything too disturbing.
No, don't.
Mr. Marmalade, though, Jack at Mr. Marmalade, about the girl that has the imaginary friend who's called Mr. Marmalade, played by, who has a manager as well, and it's really freaky play. It's a good play. It's art.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's quite...
I'm sure it informed his life in some way.
Yeah. But it's amazing what goes over children's heads and also what captivates them.
Yeah.
So the make-believe is quite real when you're young, right? And you're thinking, oh, this is all just make-believe. But for them, something can stick that might be profound or disturbing or both.
I think they're quite proud of us, I think.
Do you know, one of the things that people say to us after the play, especially when they've been through a real experience, is, well, how do you just go home and be a normal couple after that? How do you do that? And actually, we find that quite easy because we've kind of left it all on the stage, if you know what I mean.
I do. Yeah.
So we can come off and go, but very quickly start dissecting things that either need improvement or that we thought worked well or whatever. We're quite robust in that way. That and also I just don't think it's I mentioned this before. I don't think it's healthy to be dragging home unresolved feelings as an actor. It's not good for your mental health.
So you kind of have it almost sounds to me, listening, that you have a robust debrief. Yeah. Like you have your kind of
I suppose it is. It's quite quick sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just literally walking from the curtain call to the dressing room. Hey, that was good, wasn't it? Yeah. Hey, listen, next time you think, okay.
I'm sorry, I cut those words off your line. That's okay, it didn't matter, blah, blah, blah.
And then you get to the dressing room.
And then in the dressing room, you're getting clothes.
Done, really, that with this play. I mean, but it is a necessary thing. And
but because you're leaving audience with a whole lot of feelings that they're processing, they can't understand necessarily how we could not still be processing that as well.
Because you've done that. You cried during the read through, which makes sense, right? Because you were processing at that point.
Yes.
Even though you were, I'm a professional actor and I'm doing a read through, you were actually processing, but your processing has happened.
Well,
and continues.
In some ways, I wouldn't be crying or using that process at the time that I was in the reading. But there are times in the play where, especially when he's saying, do you think I'm not scared? When I can feel the tears wanting to come because I'm scared. And I certainly have that process. And that's each, all actors have different ways of getting to that process. And certainly with King Lear, some nights, just if you want to talk about that stuff, with Jennifer and I, at the end where she's Kent and I'm there with my dead daughter and she reveals that she's been my true friend the whole time and there's this great love and bond between them. Some nights we'd be looking at each other, wouldn't we? Stricken faces full of, because you're playing the not the emotion, you're playing the process of,
grieving somebody.
Yeah. And so, went down a bit of wormhole there, sorry.
But we have to be able to, on the stage.
Right, switching it off.
You have to be able to switch off because it's not appropriate. Our play goes very deep and then kind of pings out of it again to talk to the audience. So we can't drag those feelings from the previous scene and imbue the next part with that feeling because it's not appropriate. No. So you have to be quite deaf.
That's what I was saying earlier. It's like you've got to be facing what's here.
Yeah.
Yes. Not what's over there.
And we know we see a lot of young actors playing the entire end of the show in their first few lines. You go, well, I know where your character's going because you're playing all your tragedy right now.
Like if you had to get really,
you know what I mean?
If you had to really grieve something in a play in the moment, you can't come on the stage an hour earlier with that because I've got to get into that zone. Yeah. No, you can't do that. You've got to be in that zone.
Is there a metaphor for life there? Like, is there an application? Because I want to know how you're approaching aging. You've moved to an apartment. You've actually sorted some of your stuff. Some people call it Swedish death cleaning.
Yes, I did that for my girlfriend last year.
And you are like taking responsibility now, so that somebody else doesn't have to do it later.
Yes.
It's actually a tremendously gracious, generous, kind thing to do. Mm-hmm. Does this play, do you think, invite you or others? Like, how will this influence you going forward?
Well, I think
we'll be. If
there's quite a bit of wood on the seat,
that it doesn't happen, but if something like that did happen, I think we might recognise it pretty quickly. What do you think, Michael?
Sure. I'm not sure if you're asking how does this affect my approach to death and dying.
Yeah, I am.
Then it really only, for me, it confirms I think you've all got to make your peace with it. You have to. You've got to be.
With death, you mean?
Death is mine. You've got to own it. You've got to own your death because no one else is going to do that process for you. You know, no one's going to do your dying for you. So be at peace with whatever you think is going to be fine. You know, I mean, I'm not going to proselytize or anything like that, but I'm very stoic and I'm very calm about all of that. However, this play does stir that up. And, you know, when you're confronted suddenly with that, you have to really ask yourself, how have I lived, I think. So be at peace with that. Do you know, that's...
I think the other important thing is when you've had loved ones, deeply loved people go, is that when they've gone, they knew they were deeply loved by me and that I kept my promise to say, I will be with you right till the end. I promise you that. And I think there's something really comforting for a human being to hear that they won't be alone.
Yeah, that is a gift.
It really is.
It really is.
Actually, to say it when they're well.
Yes.
And say, follow through.
Yes.
Yeah, that's with my dear cousin who died in 2023, she was 90, coming up for 96. Wow. But I'd told her in her 80s, Jill, we were out in the garden. I said, I want you to know this. I'm going to be there. You just know that. And I was holding her hand. And that feels like a great honour. I'm not scared of death and I'm not scared of being with people who die because you're in service to that moment, I believe.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I talked to a wonderful palliative care nurse, Anne, who talked and really reframed, I think, for me, death as a love story. That people are, she sees it like people are born into this world surrounded by love. You know, so often it's a joyful experience giving birth to a child and there's the parents ideally and other grandparents hopefully and all this potential, you know, the love that's about to be poured into that life. And the death story can be a love story too, where people are held and known and loved as they are birthed into the next realm. And they are
come in as you come in, so you go out. That's lovely. I like that.
And I did think even what you're saying, that you talked to your 80-year-old cousin, and it was another 14 or so years before you know that promise was actioned, but it sort of stays with you. I think there's this idea too that we could make a decision about how we're going to die, or we could process it in a day and then it's done. It's not how it goes, is it? It's like we're allowed to evolve and consider if death isn't something we must avoid at all costs and must not think of and is too problematic. We don't give ourselves the chance to walk around in the space of grief and loss and death. And I think it can be less dangerous and less dark than we realise.
And I do think theatre like this it's good for the human spirit because we're in this room together, feeling all of these things together.
Yes.
And I said this word before, and empathy is given rise to. Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing.
It's a very
it's also the ancient thing of theatre, isn't it? You know, when you think about, catharsis and tragedy and what that means, we're all going through it together. You know, the Greeks would get together to see a tragedy about something that happened in their state, their city. So it would be like something that we all are familiar with. Let's say it was the volcanic eruptions on
Vesuvius?
Pompeii.
No. Let's say recently here.
White Island.
White Island. Yeah, let's say
yes.
that. Yeah, let's say that. We then did a production where everybody that was involved in that and the city somehow together came to kind of grieve at the same time for it or for what was wrong with it. So in the Greeks, it was, the Trojan women is all about the fact that the actual Athenians sacked a city and killed all the boys, all the menfolk above 14 years old, killed them all and then enslaved everybody else, the women. And now, a year later, Euripides writes a play where the Trojan women are the women. Yes, they're Trojan, but they're not. They're the women from the very year before the play was on. And he's saying, what do you think you're doing? And the whole audience is going through a grief at how the big mistake they made. See what I mean? It's very communal. I think that's, that's the deepest sort of older, ancient thing that we have to do all that together. Boy, that's profound.
Oh, that's very profound.
Deep,
that's very deep.
Good,
Cut that out.
Might not make the podcast.
What about
then he went down to the Greeks and Romans.
Show us your bum.
Well, I think it's the whole thing. We're not designed to do life alone. We're not designed really to die alone or to live alone, are we?
Well, we're
designed to live and die together.
Yeah.
And I honestly didn't know how I was going to do this podcast, so I'm so happy I've only cried once. Because I wept on the plane, and I'm losing my father. He's here, and he's such a delight to live with and look after. He doesn't help around the house that much.
No.
Anymore, but I know that he would if he could. That's who he is.
Are you doing all of the care?
Oh,
you've got somebody coming and doing.
Yeah, we have
doing showering and what have you. Great.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Aren't they wonderful? Those
the
people?
DHB is very supportive in helping us keep Dad home, which I truly appreciate.
That's good.
And my husband is amazing, and my mum and we share it. So there's three of us actually, plus the DHB. So
brilliant.
Yeah, we're going to do it for as long as we can. I'd like him to die here. Personally, I'd like to have him here and say goodbye from here.
Yeah.
Did I ask you do you think it will change the way you will die or will approach death?
I don't know if it will. No, all I'd like to know is that the people I love are around me.
Yeah.
Really, I think it's very simple. That someone's holding my hand who loves me.
Yeah. That seems a reasonable thing to ask.
I think so.
And so the show is selling out, that you've actually had to put extra shows on.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We did in Wellington. We just, we've done Hamilton, Wellington, Christchurch.
Yeah.
We head to Dunedin on the 27th, 28th of this month, then Wanaka on the 30th. And then we fly back. Then we go Hastings on the 4th, and then 11th and 12th of April in Auckland at Q Theatre.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Can't wait, actually.
And do you think it's a play you would revisit again?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes. There are plenty of other places around the country who want to see it. Okay. So it's really just a matter of coordinating that.
Yes.
It's simple for us to get it together and we can rehearse it in our home.
Lunchtimes.
In our home, but we've got a space, so we just go in there. In fact, we could rehearse it walking around the house, really, if you think about it.
Except we like to focus.
But,
You're very professional.
We're very,
very professional.
Never late, never.
No, I knew that you wouldn't be late today, and you were not.
Always know our lines.
Well, Jennifer, anyway.
Oh, no, that's not true. We're both.
Well, you were asking for it, weren't you?
Yes, I was asking for it. I was waiting for
a little bit of shit stirring going on there, Michael.
A little bit, sorry.
It's good to have a little somewhere in there. Conflict? How do you resolve conflict between the two of you? What's your go-to?
Never been conflict.
Never a harsh word.
Don't let the sun go down on your
I think
anger.
we have.
Come on, fess up.
I'm just trying to think. Well, the rehearsal process.
I get a bit sulky, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, you do. You do.
She'll give me a note and I'll go, what?
And then, but, yes, but. And then I want to say to you, you always say that you can't stand actors go, yes, but, or defend themselves.
Oh.
Note to self.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
But he gets over it quickly.
And you know that it's his thing, right? The sulkiness belongs to him. It's
Yeah,
not
I sort of.
about you,
I
so-
guess what it is, I feel like I've been caught out, and because I didn't realise. I either didn't realise I was doing it, or I don't agree. No, that's. I think it's a good way of saying it.
Or it's yes, or that's a defensive mechanism to say I don't agree when actually not accepting that you could have
She,
done
however,
something wrong.
always agrees, and I never give her notes because
You do give me
she's
notes, and what do I
perfect.
do? I go, yeah, great, thanks, I'll take that note.
and do whatever the heck I want with it.
Yeah.
No, I mean if you know, you gave me a note the other day about too many sorries, and I went, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. I said, yeah, you're right. I went down the garden path a bit there.
Oh, you
I
did.
won't do
That's
that again.
Fair enough. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
so I
really-
like that.
Actually,
You know,
yeah,
I
it
like
took
having a
ages,
note.
Actually, you sort of dug into that one, didn't you? That was a big.
It's pointless talking about it because I don't know what we're talking about, Michael.
I know.
Anyway, it would just happen.
She was on stage, and I was going, God,
All right, stop it.
hurry up. Just
No,
under
he
there.
wasn't.
I didn't say, oh, what about the other night when the chair broke? Oh, that was a bit, wasn't it?
Yes.
That was a bit. We had the chair right at the beginning, and you know how it's thin legs, isn't it? Sort of mid-century, and how they plug in.
Yes,
you know.
those
It all-
ones that are just held by the dowels.
So it all came out,
Oh,
and
gosh.
I'm sitting there trying to
Not put weight on
not
it.
put weight on it, do the acting, and all
And
the
also
time
worrying about when I was going to sit on it
'Cause
that
I
I wouldn't know.
because she doesn't sit on it till the end of the thing. And I'm going, God, it was just it was
Oh gosh!
yeah, it was pretty.
Did you manage to?
I
she
saw
sussed
him
it.
doing something, and I went,
Yeah.
oh, that chair's dodgy. And so
Yeah.
when I did sit on it, I mostly carried my own weight.
You were very good because I was sweating by then. I
know
thought if
you
she's-
were.
and then
But that's quite fun, you know, that's the
Yeah.
danger of being on stage
Yeah.
because anything
course.
could happen and you just got to deal with it. You just got to keep your brain going. I mean, you'll know this from being on telly.
Yeah.
The camera's rolling, you're live. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
people in the audience had noticed it, and I said, well, I hope it didn't disturb you, but I think they kind of found it a bit thrilling. You know, that was kind of like.
Yes. Bit of a free song.
but it is
Will
a
those
bit-
actors fall on their bottoms and
Well,
break
you
down?
don't. No, you don't want. You don't
You
want to
don't
break
wanna-
your tailbone.
You
on
don't want to
stage.
do anything
No,
like
you don't.
that. You don't want to hurt yourself on stage. Not
Yeah.
good. Not good.
All right. Well, I feel like there is with the counselling session. It's very
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
doctor.
doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
See you next time.
And I'll talk to you in the car. Yeah. I'll
never
talk
speaking to you again.
Talk to you later.
They
Yeah.
do say conflict is the sign of a relationship that's alive. So, you know, it's
Yeah.
not the hope is not eradication, but rather probably constructive resolution over and over and over again,
Constructive resolution.
with some coming together of maybe a dance.
I think we end up resolving most things.
I think the line in the play that speaks to us most is, I'm not talking about everything. I'm talking about this, because there's that thing of if you're pulled up on something, you go, I did it once, or it's
Yeah,
not
it's a classic.
all the time I do
know.
this.
Oh, God, I haven't done that for ages.
Yeah, I'm not talking about I'm talking
Yeah,
about
that's
this,
exactly right.
and that's exactly. And I think
Exactly
that's
right.
very smart of Matthew, the playwright,
it
to
is.
get that, because
That's very
that
common.
sums up what people go is, you're on my back the whole time or something, but you.
I still think another one is, did you answer that letter to the bank? What? What?
Yeah, I did that at home to him. I said, "Oh, did you respond to that letter from the bank, by the way?" And he went, "What?"
What?
I went, "It's not a problem if you haven't. It's just
then
that
I
I was going to do it,
realised
and
it
you
was
said
the
that's a
play.
line for the play." You took him about a good minute.
God, I got hysterical. I couldn't stop laughing, and then we kept running the lines, and it was just like crazy. It wasn't that funny. You know?
Yeah.
I guess you had to be there.
Yeah.
But I want to acknowledge that last night I said to my beautiful husband, you know, I've heard that story quite a few times, or I just feel like you've repeated that a lot, and it's very hard to be told something like that. It's very hard to be the one who is unaware, or who has annoyed somebody, or who is, you know, getting
Yes.
this kind of response. So how even the nature of that relationship, right? Well, I don't want to hurt him, and so even in saying, I want you to know, you know, because we start joking about it, I'm like, 2 to 3 times is fine. Like he goes,
Yes.
and you know, not that I want to repeat myself. I may have told you this before, you know, and I'm like, no, I want you to be able to say things again, but
We just say
is there room?
repetition.
We just say repetition.
Repetition. Perfect. You need a
We've all agreed.
language.
All agree repetition,
Oh, shit, right,
and that comes with no judgment.
No judgment. Repetition.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The good code.
Yeah.
Clean words.
It's a clean word.
language.
Yeah, repetition.
Final
And you
question.
go, oh yes, it must be. Yeah.
Final question. Okay.
Jennifer, you've done this before, but you're a new woman every day. What do 80-year-old Michael and Jennifer say to 60-year-old Michael and Jennifer today? What do your 80-year-olds say to you today?
Congratulations on getting this far.
80-year-old might say to 62-year-old, could you just not fill up every day with something?
Mm-hmm.
Just take your foot off the gas a little bit.
Yep.
But keep up the good work. Something like that.
I think keep up the good work's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully 80-year-old Michael and Jennifer will, or 85-year-old Michael and 80-year-old Jennifer will be maybe still on the staging if they have to wheel us on.
Yeah. No, we'll have
We're
had,
doing lots of roles where we sit down a lot or lie in beds.
or we've had all our body parts reprinted.
Oh,
And,
what?
and we've
New
got
use.
new body parts, because they're coming.
Yeah.
Printable body parts, that's
Yeah.
coming.
Awesome.
We'll all be living till.
Let's not talk about aging. Let's talk about printable body parts.
Let's talk about it. But our brains, unfortunately, they will be aging.
Yeah.
Oh, I like your old selves. They sound wise and slightly
What do you think
wicked.
your 80-year-olds
think-
would say to you?
I think she'd say,
To you now?
yeah, to me now. I think she'd say, aren't we having fun? Yeah. Keep going. Aren't we having
Yeah.
fun? Yeah. Isn't this great?
And you recently talked about your diagnosis.
Yes, ADHD.
And I wonder what 80-year-old would
Yeah.
say to this person who's recently received that.
Yeah. She'd go, didn't it make life easier? Isn't it
Yeah.
lovely?
Isn't that is that an answer to a whole lot of things?
Yeah, it's such an invitation to peace, to let myself be me. It's a good
What
thing.
was it? I don't know the diagnosis.
ADHD.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah. It just makes my childhood make more sense, and makes the level of expectation and the kind of browbeating and self-criticism make a lot more sense. And then it makes all sorts of little random things. I just go, oh yeah, okay, let's go.
Yes, because my brain is just wired that way.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that is more peaceful.
much more peaceful. I like it. Yeah, it feels sustainable.